really didn't like the Audi, told me she didn't love the BMW at all. So they're 90% sure they want the Mercedes. Supposed to be coming back today, so hopefully I can get her some footage of it, because she said she'd come in on Friday again to come see it. I said, I apologize for sounding like a pushy salesman, but I run the risk of this car not being here. Also, programs might be changing. I can't promise you the same figures come tomorrow or Friday. She's inclined to do something now today, knowing all of this. She just needs to see it. Just need to see what the figures would look like. It's good enough for her. She said she would do it today.
Well, what if the car's not back by today?
She's not worried about that now. What I did is I sent her first some stock photos of the car from the ordering guides. You already drove the GLC. You know what it feels like.
How many miles a year does she need?
She's not a high mileage driver, so I would say 10 if she does a lease.
And does she want to put all of her equity down towards the lease? You might want to have that conversation with her first.
We just show it to her what it would look like with all of it down, and then I'll say, hey, you can adjust this. I'd rather show her the low payment and then let her make that decision if she wants to get some of that back or just have the low payment.
I think you're better off going the opposite direction. You never want to show somebody the lowest payment and then say, hey, do you want a higher payment? First, you want to conceptually understand what she wants to do. So I would just ask her, hey, because your trade is paid off, we typically don't recommend a high down payment on a lease just because there's really no point. And if the car were to get into a total loss accident, you might lose the majority of that down payment.
Cool.
So I'll show it to you however you want, but do you want to take some or all of your trade equity back in a check?
She came in looking to finance. She wants to purchase the car probably. She asked about the warranty. It's not a concern for her, but she mentioned it. I said, so if that's something that you are concerned about because it's a previous loaner, maybe leasing would be something, because you'd be covered with warranty throughout the entire term of the lease.
If she's going to buy it, if her preference is to buy it, then she can certify this car, and that would make it a total of a 5-year warranty and unlimited miles from when it originally went in service. So it's basically
5 years from the date of her purchase?
From when the warranty started.
Okay.
But at that point, you would be surpassing what the new car warranty would have been. Certifying a former demo is much more inexpensive than certifying a trade-in. I would ask her if she's interested in that, right? Just say, hey, as I was talking this through with my manager, he reminded me that because this was a former demo, if you want to have it certified, which would give you an additional year of warranty and remove the mileage limit, you can do that, or you can just buy it with the remainder of the factory warranty. But it does look like she keeps her cars for a long time. She's the one-owner 2018 Volkswagen Beetle driver, right?
So very low mileage at that.
Why don't you have that conversation with her? Because I don't think that she's going to ultimately be interested in a lease.
Yeah.
You kind of have to look at the history, the buying patterns of somebody. If they've had their current car for a long time and they mention they want to buy it, best not to bring up a lease at all unless they kind of bring it up themselves.
She brought that up when she was here Saturday, because she said, I have never leased before and I don't know much about it because I always buy my cars, but she said I would be open to it.
Well, when somebody says that, in the absence of a situation like an EV, where we can't let you buy it because we don't want to watch somebody do that to themselves, in any other scenario, if they say, I've never leased before, but I'm open to the idea, the only question that you should be asking in that moment is, how long do you typically keep your cars for? It looks like you've had this Volkswagen for 8 years or
That's
so.
That's exactly what I asked.
Right.
She said her previous car that she owned for 10 plus years.
Okay, so based on that, do you have any reason to believe that that would suddenly change? Are you wanting to start accelerating how often you're in and out of cars? Because if you think that you're going to continue to buy cars the way you always have, then leasing is not a good idea. You'll be upset when you get to the end of 3 years and you're forced with the decision of having to buy it out or lease another car. Leasing with the intention to buy it out later, not a good idea. That is like a happy accident, right? If we get to the end of a lease and we're like, wow, the car's worth a lot more than your buyout figure, then great, you buy it out. But don't ever go into a lease planning to do that. Oh, I'll lease it now and then I'll buy it out at the end. No. Don't. Better than good chance you're going to be lighting money on fire. You lease cars because you know that you can't help yourself but get a new car every 2 or 3 years. That's why people lease, not people who keep cars for 8 to 10 years. So I would go back and just say, hey, Mercedes has great certified warranty. It's unlimited miles. It would be a 5-year warranty from the original in-service date. Since you keep your cars for a long time, the more I'm thinking about it, unless you suddenly think that you're only going to keep this car for 3 years, I think you're much better off to buy it.
I think she is too.
So let's just have that conversation, and then that puts a little bit less pressure on us to get it done right this second. Obviously, if she wants to give us a down payment to secure the car, and then pending it comes back and it didn't get run over by a bulldozer, then she's going to be taking it later this week. But I don't want her to feel rushed. There's no special financing that we have on GLCs right now, so there's no risk in us going into a new month starting tomorrow. and then she'll feel better about the deal. It's a September deal for you either way, so there's no reason to rush her.
Absolutely. Cool.
So why don't you give her a call, see if she's open to that idea of CPOing it.
Let's do it.
All
Cool.
right.